So for this week's Savour Story, we're here in Kells on Hughes Farms Limited. And I'm talking to Julian, and he's accompanied by his daughter Robin, who's getting all the carrots ready for Santa's reindeers. Julian, you grow vegetables and you supply to most of the major retailers in Ireland, Europe and North America.
Yeah, we grow carrots, parsnips, pumpkins, which I believe, cut flowers, which a lot of cut flowers go to North America, now to continental Europe, and onions.
So it's a new enough project. This wasn't always the family business.
I mean, the family business was cut flowers, to be fair, and I would have started growing veg back in 2007 when I was finishing off in college. I went into Johnny O'Shea Lord Restaurant and said to him I wanted to grow the world of potatoes, and he said to me, well, why don't you grow carrots? We started off with 3 acres of carrots and I kind of worked on from there. So it's like poker, once you're pocket committed you can't get back out, so it's been great, really enjoyed it.
Started with 3 acres, but
Yeah.
today the enterprise is on 700 acres. It's massive. So how many people do you employ here?
We probably have a staff of 45 full-time, and if you were to put full-time equivalents in for seasonal staff and things like that, we probably run something close to 45.
And it's a 365 days a year well-oiled machine.
I mean, we won't work Christmas Day, we work 2 days over Christmas and we'll be back in the day after New Year's Day, so there's no but the people keep eating. So as long as people keep eating, we have to keep working. So yeah, no, it's a full-time business.
And saying that now, with COVID, have you come across many challenges? Because I know in supermarkets you do quite well. People are cooking how's it affected you?
I mean, volumes have increased. Probably not as much as people would think. We probably have maybe, there's a bounce in volume. So it's probably been a little more volatile. So we're on a relatively quiet week this week. Other weeks it's very busy. So it's very up and down. Whereas the consistency that might have been there before. But all in all, I mean, COVID, it's been a terrible situation for a lot of businesses. We're lucky enough to be supplying food to retail, which is the one area that there's been a constant demand.
Okay, and is there anything particularly unique about Hughes Farm Limited?
I suppose the main thing is it's a first generation business, so everything we do here we're doing for the first time when it comes to fresh produce. So I mean that to me I think is a strength, because we look at everything with a fresh pair of eyes and we can start with a fresh slate. There's no kind of that's the way we always did it, because most things that we're doing we've never done before. So it's unique in that sense. So that's probably our main.
Now you came up with the whole idea when you were in college. What were you studying in college?
Science.
Okay, so did a lot of research go into starting this business for you? And obviously the degree behind you helped.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
what did you do?
In terms of research, like I would have felt that, we never, my family never owned a big farm here. So it was never a case that I could go back and grow cereals and grow commodities on a big market. So for me, I had to look and say, how can I actually take a smaller area of ground and get a higher return from it? So I mean, that was the original thinking, and then you go on from there. And once you start growing 1 or 2 things, it mushrooms on from there. I'm not sure it's as easy nowadays to get into it, and it wasn't that easy then. It's getting tougher all the time because there's a real price pressure out there. I think what Savour Kilkenny are doing with highlighting the importance of food, I think it's really important. And then people sometimes lose sight of the fact that paying 20 cents for something that has a cost of production of 80 cents really sustains.
Now we've lost one of your helpers there. We're talking about challenges and hurdles and prices and all that. What else have you faced?
I mean, we've had to build a team. That's been a big part. I mean, we've had some great people through the business over the years. Some people stay, some people move on. It's all part of the evolution of it. But I think we're at a very settled stage now, which has been great. So I mean, getting the team together, funding the expansion, keeping the momentum going, that's a big part of it.
Yeah, like funding the expansion, going from a family farm to 700 acres. That must have been a tough day talking to the bank manager.
I mean, I was talking to a competitor of mine the other day and he was giving out about pricing, and I made a point to him that every day that we come in here, we've got to make money, because we don't have a big balance sheet of land that we can lie back and around that. So we're a different model to a lot of our competitors. We'd have a lot of competitors that would have land in North Dublin and places like that. We don't have valuable assets to fall back on, so we have to be, every day, we have to make money. I mean, that's a challenge for us. It probably makes us a little bit more lean. Like we implement lean process throughout the business. We do a lot of things that maybe other guys don't need to do. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's something that we don't
and you need to stay on top of your game all the time. You're exporting to Europe, North America. How is Brexit going to affect you?
I probably see Brexit as, you know, and I sympathise heavily with an awful lot of guys who are involved in beef and industries like that. For us, Brexit goes more upside than downside in the sense that it's amazing how much cheap produce comes in from the UK that is being marketed under the guise of being Irish but isn't. So, I mean, we have an awful lot of produce that comes in that undermines the market. And what they'll do in the UK is they'll take their second grade, or they'll take stock that they don't want to drag down the price over there, and they'll just plummet the price here with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we could stymie that flow, that would certainly help put a floor under things. And yeah, there's more upside than downside for us in Brexit.
Okay, that's great to hear. And like, you've got a big team here. You employ 45 people. Who would be your key members?
I mean, you break it into, you break what started off on day one for me, you break that role into four. So you've got finance, you've got Nathan who looks after you as a financial controller, you've got Thomas Babchek who runs the pack house here, Graham Poole who runs the farm, and then I still look after the fluff. The drinking tea and taking pictures, I think is what the lads put it down as. Sitting up at night wondering where we're going to go tomorrow.
That's it. Well, you won a big award last year. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we won the Chambers Award in 2018. We won the Tillage Farmer Year Award last year. So the business has there's been a bit of success there. There was, and I mean, it's great for the guys in the farm. It's great to go and have a couple of events in the Chambers event. It's a great event to be fair, and it's very well run. And I think we're very lucky to have such a strong Chambers in Kilkenny. So yeah, no, it's been great. It's been great for stakeholders in the business. It's been great for staff. For me, you know, you wouldn't be dying now on it, but I think it's great for staff and people around the business, and it's great recognition.
And momentum, and for the PR as well, as it goes great.
Yeah.
Who would you say has been your biggest support?
Probably my wife. Val, to be fair, I was involved in corporate farming projects in Eastern Europe based on that, and I walked away from a very lucrative situation over there to come back and put everything I had into what I was doing here with the fresh produce business. So, I mean, there would have been 3 or 4 tough years now where she would have funded an awful lot of what we did in terms of our household expenses and things like that. So, I mean, she has been very tolerant throughout it all, and you know, a key player.
And
doesn't work in the business.
Okay.
You know, she does a very good job herself. But I mean, her patience on the whole thing has certainly been very important for me to be able to do what I do here.
And it's got to where you are today.
Absolutely.
And 3 beautiful babies.
Yeah.
Would you recommend them to go into this industry?
I would, yeah. I think farming's a great industry. I think there's an awful lot of negativity in it. It's tough on price. You know, we sit here and we complain about price and things like that, and it's tough in everything. But there's no job that's any easier or harder than the other. You know, I enjoy it. I love the idea of being able to stick a seed in the ground and walk out and pick up a carrot and be able to eat as I walk down the field. It's very similar like that.
So whatever the soil can grow, you can grow it here.
We have a crack at it. I'm not saying we're very good at it. We certainly have a crack at it.
Any plans for the future?
We've probably thrown a lot of mud at the wall in the last 10 years, so it's time for us now to allow that to settle. So we have crops that we do, some we do reasonably well, some we don't do that well and we could do a lot better on. For us now, it's just to stabilise that and to grow them segments. I mean, we're already a very diverse business, more diverse than a lot of our competitors, and now we have carrots, parsnips, onions, cut flowers. Most of our competitors at maximum would have two enterprises, let alone having 4 of them. So for us, it's really just to allow them to expand, to grow into themselves and get some efficiency out of them.
Julian, it's been a pleasure speaking to you today. I know you did a lovely thing over Halloween. People wanted to come and pick pumpkins. They left the money into the local shop for a charity, which is very nice.